Well, beloved dub motherfuckers, what is going on, everyone? It is I. It is everyone's favorite jack of all trades, with the foul mouth come to urban. Welcome back to another awesome fucking video, guys. I really do appreciate it. And before we dive into this bitch, I want a big special shout out to all you guys, my fans, my viewers, and subscribers, for sticking around watching this shit. That's the reason why I fucking do it, for all you guys, so yeah. Anyway, it's going to be another book review about the RMS Titanic, and you can see I have another model here of the ship that I built. And this one here, this is my 1 in 570th scale model. I built this one quite a few years ago. This one's actually an original 1970s, early 80s era Revell kit. And I still have the original box and shit with it. But, so you can see. Yeah, you can see I kind of, definitely an older model, but it's not a bad looking model. Anyway, you're probably wondering, what's the book we're going to be talking about today? Well, this one is going to be a really good one, guys, because this is a book. It's actually it's one book, but it's 2 accounts. And what it is, right here, guys. It is Titanic, a Survivor Story by Colonel Archibald Gracie, and The Sinking of the SS Titanic by John B. Thayer. 2 survivor accounts of the tragedy at sea. Yes, we got 2 fucking actual accounts of the sinking by 2 actual Titanic survivors. Okay. 2 vivid accounts of the Titanic disaster. This book combines 2 survivors' vivid accounts of the greatest maritime disaster in history, the sinking of the Titanic. The information contained in Colonel Archibald Gracie's Titanic, a Survivor Story is available from no other source. He provides details of those final moments, including names of passengers pulled from the ocean and of those men who in a panic jumped into lifeboats as they were being lowered, causing injury and further damage to life, or danger to life. Walter Lord, author of A Night to Remember, comments that Gracie's book, written shortly before he died from the exposure he suffered on the night, is invaluable for chasing down who went what boat, and calls Gracie an indefatigable detective. John Thayer also had the remarkable escape from death in the icy waters of the Atlantic. He was only 17 at the time and was, like Gracie, one of the last to leave the ship. His account, Sinking of the SS Titanic, was meticulously detailed. It was privately published for members of his family in 1940. His preface is especially insightful. The sinking of the Titanic was, in his eyes, a symbol of the end of the world that he knew and the horrific beginning of a frightening new era. It is published here courtesy of Captain Richard Freeman Smith, USCG retired, a cousin of the author. So, I was really blown away when because I always wanted to read John Thayer's account, and I always wanted to read Archibald Gracie's account. And it's not, originally was not called Survivor Story. Instead, see. Even before the film Titanic was released, there was a good deal of interest in the tragedy, a human drama of enormous proportions. Despite Colonel Archibald Gracie's illness contracted from exposure on that dreadful night, he was able not only to write an account of his own experiences, but also found other survivors to interview and attend court hearings held in the United States using court records to augment his own recollections. His work on his manuscript through 1912 and died in December of that year in New York. The book was published in 1913. Walter Lord, an author of A Night to Remember, relied on Gracie, whom he called an indefatigable detective. His book, Lord said, was invaluable for chasing down who went in what book, or in what boat. So, but his book originally was called The Truth About the Titanic, which if I could, I still would love to get an original first edition of this book. But when you first open it up, you got these really awesome pictures of the Titanic. And of course, we have the contents. The last day aboard ship, struck by an iceberg, the foundering of the Titanic, struggling in the water for life, all night on the bottom of a half-submerged upturned boat. The port side women, children first, starboard side women first, but men when there were no women. And of course, sinking the Titanic with the preface, and of course, April 14, 15, 1912. And honestly, when I read Gracie's work, it's fucking incredible, guys. I mean, absolutely just detailed. This guy literally was like, he had a photogenic memory, and he remembered all the shit that went on that he saw, and it was just, it was crazy. Absolutely just insane. You know, I wish I could have marked out some of the shit I wanted to read to you guys, but well, here's something here. Second, did the ship break in two? I was on the Carpathia when I first heard anyone make reference to this point. The 17-year-old son of Mr. John B. Thayer, Jack Thayer, Jr., and his young friend from Philadelphia, R.N. Orris, William, Jr. The tennis expert in describing experiences to me were positive that they saw the ship split in two. This was from their position in the water on the starboard quarter. Jack Thayer gave this scene description to an artist who produced an illustration to the New York Herald, which many of us have seen. Some of the passengers whose names I have just mentioned are also cited by the newspaper authority for statements that the ship broke in two, that she buckled amidships, that she was literally torn to pieces. I mean, that's pretty descriptive, even though he said he didn't see the ship split because he was sucked under the water by the time when he got to the surface. This portion of the ship was like this, and it went to the drink. But everything else that he explains in here is quite fascinating, especially with his experience on the bottom of the upturned boat where all the other men were standing, including Officer Charles Herbert Lightoller. But, and you know, if we go from, you know, Gracie's book to, here to Jack Thayer's book, or his memoirs, I would like to read a little something from it, if I could find it. It's actually talking about the, if I could find it, there was something I would like to read here, if I could find it. It's actually talking about what I just read a moment ago, about what they talked about. Right here. This is Jack Thayer's. This is actually from Jack Thayer's own words. So it says, she continued to make the same forward progress as when I left her. The water was over the base of the first funnel. The mass of people on board were surging back, always back toward the floating stern. The rumble and roar continued, with even louder, distinct wrenchings and tearings of boilers and engines from their beds. Suddenly, the whole superstructure of the ship appeared to split, well forward to midship, and blow or buckle upwards. The second funnel, large enough for two automobiles to pass through abreast, seemed to be lifted off, emitting a cloud of sparks. It looked as if it would fall on top of me. It missed me by only 20 to 30 feet. The suction of it drew me down and down, struggling and swimming, practically spent. Damn. That had been fucking scary. So, that right there, when I read that, and it was also when Dr. Ballard read this, it was actually Jack Thayer that told Dr. Ballard how to find Titanic. The description he gave matches what we know now, that when Titanic did sink, she broke right here, right at midship's area, right in front of the third funnel. So it does match. So after reading these two books, you know, The Truth About the Titanic or Survivor Stories, it's called now, by Colonel Gracie, and The Sinking in Titanic by Jack Thayer, I have a much deeper understanding and a much clearer picture through the eyes of these two men, and what they saw was horrific as fuck. Absolutely scary ass shit, guys. Even though people are interested in the Titanic, but people have to understand, when this ship was sinking, it was every fucking person for themselves. I mean, it was literally just fucking war zone. And I really have a lot of respect for these guys. I really have a lot of respect for both the Colonel and for Jack Thayer Jr. You know, to be able to write their experiences and shit down on paper to share with us in the modern day. They're fucking amazing. Both these books are absolutely fantastic. I give them both 5 stars and 2 thumbs up, and just, you know, God bless these men. Let their souls rest now. Absolutely amazing shit. I would recommend these books to you guys. I would recommend this to you guys. And if you guys can find an original first edition of this, which was privately published, and a first edition of this, which was publicly published, I would go for it. I'm going to find me a first edition of Colonel Gracie's book. I would love to have it. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is my review of both Titanic: A Survivor Story by Colonel Archibald Gracie and The Sinking of the SS Titanic by John B. Thayer Jr. Both survivors of the Titanic, by the way. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the fucking comment section below and I'll get back with you. And if you're new to the channel, like the shit I fucking do, hit that fucking subscribe button. Hit that damn notification bell. Never miss a video from yours truly ever again. And until next time, this is Commodore Urban, saying that smooth seas and clear skies, happy sailing with all of you. God bless you all. Take care. Stay safe. Be yourselves. Jesus and the good Lord love you all very much. And until next time, I'll catch you on a warm trading wind where a hell anyone knows. Let's go, Brandon. Fuck Joe Biden, and fuck Kamala Harris too. She's a bitch. And Trump 2024, baby. Yeah.